Hello, this is Valerie Aiello, and you are listening to Idea Diary. How's it going, y'all? Thanks for coming to hang out on a Sunday. I did all my Monique notes so far. I really like the story. I think it's important. It's a bit of a long show. Sorry about that, but I just wanted to get it all in. Of course, new information could always come out and things can change, but I think I have a solid understanding of what was happening. So if you're interested, listening to yesterday's show. Today I had some thoughts. So there's something called failure fatigue that I've kind of, the term I've just kind of made up. That's what I feel like it is. But there was something that I just wanted to start the conversation about, which is that there are some phases when you're an entrepreneur. I'm not liking the word entrepreneur lately. I feel like there should be something else because they're really what we're doing, or I feel like what the goal is to make money without a paycheck. Make money with your own brain. If there's no one else around to help you, what's the way you can make money? What are 10 revenue streams that each make however much they make that combine with paying your bills? And I feel like, paying your bills is kind of goal number one. Then getting beyond that, everyone's goals are different of what they need and what they want. A lot of people have jobs and job security and they still only pay their bills and they hate what they're doing every day. So sometimes when you just want to do whatever you want every day and you can pay your bills, but the security part is gone. You're just getting better and better and better at making money for yourself, using your own talents and skills. That becomes, there are times when you're just like, I just need a break. I just need a year with a paycheck. And you can do that. There's no rules. And you're not an entrepreneur if you stop trying to build businesses and decide to work for a year. Or if you're a teacher in the afternoon and you're doing your thing at night. Some people just need security. If you're able to have a full-time job and build a business, that's great. It doesn't mean you're any more smart or any more talented or, it's just everyone's different. And entrepreneur, I feel like there could be a better word. So I'm thinking on that. But failure fatigue. So I wanted to go a little bit into that. So I'm trying to figure out how to explain it. So there's the dreaming phase, which starts probably in preschool. You're dreaming, what do I want to be when I grow up? What do I want to do? You're dreaming of your first job in high school, and you might try a bunch of crappy ones until you figure out a good one. And then you might go to college or not go to college, and then have your 20-year-old jobs that still might be awful, but still could be on track or could be exactly what you want. Everyone's different, but there's that dreaming phase before you take action, even before you believe it's possible. Then there's the building phase, which is you've built up your self-esteem and you have the magic of believing to where some way, somehow it's possible, and you're not worried about what is possible, the process. You're starting somewhere and you're in that building phase. And a lot of people get really far and have success, and a lot of people, it takes 10 years to even have any sort of traction whatsoever. And either one is a failure. It could take 60 years. People have tried for decades and have failed at something only to achieve it later. Do they have regrets? Sure. Could they have done things differently? Sure. But you kind of are where you are. And there's some tricks to get through the pain, to get through the day. And, so there's the dreaming phase, the business or the building phase, which could or could not be business, but you've decided to try and you're working towards it. Then there's the failure phase. Does everyone fail? No. Do probably 99.9 people fail? Yeah, probably. But it's not. Failure is the learning process. And that's when the failure fatigue kicks in, because you might have to fail 1,000 times and it might feel like you can't do something, or you shouldn't do something, or you're not smart enough, or you're not talented enough. But after the failure phase, then you have the comeback phase, and you pull yourself out of that hole of feeling like a loser and like you can't do something. So then the comeback phase happens. Then, unfortunately, you go back to the building phase and the failure phase and the comeback phase. And it's like a loop. And from what I see, that when you finally reach that, right now I'm calling it new reality phase, where you've created a new reality for yourself. Once you get into that phase, I've heard other people explain this in different ways, but you never go backwards. So once you've gained the knowledge that you gain to make $100 a month using your brain and using your skills and your talent, you can kind of always make that happen. Once you get to the $1,000 a month, once you get to the $50,000 a month, whatever the stages that you learn, you can repeat. Can you lose millions of dollars? Yeah, there's lots of people who have lost millions of dollars multiple times. But they can always bring it back. And I guess some of it is being a risk taker. Some of it is learning failure. Some people have to learn big failures, and some people can learn small failures and keep growing. It's a hard road. It is much easier just to say, I'm going to be this, and I'm going to get a paycheck for the rest of my life, and then I'm going to retire because I've saved myself into wealth, and I've done everything that I'm supposed to do. There's people who do that, and they still somehow lose everything. They do everything they're supposed to, and they still lose it. So, in my opinion, it's kind of a better thing to do what you want to do and give yourself a chance to live your dreams. But it's just figuring out what that process is for you, how, getting those living expenses down, figuring out, what everyone's journey is going to be different. So there isn't one way, because everyone would be successful if there was one way. And money isn't always the answer, because everyone would be successful every time. If money was the answer, you would just pay for the success. Record labels will have put hundreds of thousands of dollars into 10 projects to have one succeed. Sometimes it's magic that makes it work. Think of all the pilots that get made they know probably 90% of the pilots are going to fail, but it's for that one to work, and that pays for the rest, So I just, things are different. I don't know. It's hard to inspire people to live their dreams that feel like it's impossible. I'm not necessarily trying to do that. I just, if a conversation needs to be started, I'm here to have it. And if people feel like they hate their life. I'm here to say you can change it. You can try something different. You can do things. You can go live in a small town, leave your super expensive city, go live in a small town and rent a $200 room for a year. Just there's so many combined forces, having roommates or figuring out. There's a Silicon Valley show, one episode I happened to be watching because they were talking about VR. My husband's into VR. But anyway, so I was watching this segment, and this one guy, the episode was about they were making it was like a food app. So you could take a picture of your food and it would give you the ingredients and the recipe or the calories of, it was just one of those things. Anyways, the guy in the show, he was negotiating, taking his idea, negotiating free rent to live in this, Silicon Valley developer house. So he said, I want free rent for a year. I'll give you, 20% of the company and, whatever the deal was making. But part of it was getting the free rent for a year. So it was just funny to me, even when you're building potentially $1 billion business, you're still thinking, how can I live for free? How can I get my expenses so low that it gives me a launch pad of some kind into taking a year just focusing on something. It was just an interesting idea. I never thought, I'm gonna wrangle in some free living expenses for a year. I have this investor that wants to make my dream happen, make this business happen or make my idea happen. And that's another thing. You can have ideas and the idea could be a bad one, but you gotta sometimes get through the bad ideas to get to the good ideas. I know that sounds crazy. If you think of it, every song you write is not a hit. And sometimes you got to write 100 songs to get a hit. So you might feel like, God, these are 100 super crappy songs. But it's the writing of the songs is what makes you finally get the good song. So, yeah, I don't know. It's failure fatigue. It's a real thing. It happens a lot. It probably happens even when you figure out your big money. You finally make the money that you feel comfortable at, and then something else could fail. But you can always come back. Once you learn something, once you know, once you're at some level, you don't go back. You keep that knowledge and you keep moving forward. So it actually, I guess what I'm trying to say is it's not so scary. You might lose, and you might lose a lot along the way, and you might fail over and over again, and you might get sick of it, and you might take a break, you might go work for a company, but whatever you've learned along the way, and writing down the things you've achieved and your failures is helpful. I don't really do that so much. I kind of just write down the new goal. And I have it on my one sheet. So just a reminder, my one sheet goals, it's kind of like all my goals for my entire life on one sheet of paper, business goals. And then I also have my mindset goals on one sheet of paper. So right now it looks crazy, but I got to redo it and print it out. But so I have my self-love mindset goals, my business mindset goals, and my money mindset goals. And self-love, I kind of squash relationships in with that. But yeah, I keep a list of a lot of stuff, and I really like that. I feel like it's really helpful. If
If you're feeling down, I suggest write a list of things you have achieved and start thinking about what is failure, what has each failure taught you? What's the lesson? And that's helpful too. So, okay, we've hit 15 minutes and the show is over for today. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I still don't know how to end the show, so I'm just going to play the music.